Hello and welcome to the Feng Shui Files. This is something that I have been wanting to do for a while and I'm now ready to do it. The Feng Shui Files are just that. This is a whole collection of talks and tips on Feng Shui. Feng Shui for me has been a game changer for 2025. I started to I did become a consultant in 2024 after I've had an interest in it for many, many years. And I've had my home analysed, and 2024 was the year that I came across Kimberly, who was my teacher and still is my mentor, and I'm so lucky to have found her because she's amazing on so many levels, and wow, just such an inspiration. So I doubt she's ever going to listen to this, but if she did, oh my goodness, hats off. So the Feng Shui Files, I want this to be about helping you with tips and tricks, and not really tricks really, but tips of balancing your life, balancing your home. And in a nutshell, what Feng Shui does for me, it's all about energy. And I've had this interest in Feng Shui forever. I can't remember not using a red ribbon on pipes or not putting the toilet seat down. It's been ingrained in me. I literally think it's from school. I would read in the Lillian 2 books from school. So there's been lots of aspects that just seem normal to me now. And the positioning of beds, the position of your settees, lots of things. But I want this to be starting at the beginning. So we're going to start in your garden, in your front garden, the entrance part of your home. That's the bit we're going to start with in this episode. And I want them to be short and sweet. I want them to be just bite-sized chunks, so I'm not overloading you with lots and lots of things. There are some free downloads on my website, Kate-May at the moment.co.uk, free resources where you can learn more and get more about the Feng Shui, and also there's some paid resources, but they're from like 11 or £6 so not a lot. Okay, let's get into it then. The front of your home is where the energy starts. It's where the energy comes in from. If you think about how you feel the moment you're walking up towards your gates, your path, towards seeing your front door, how you feel. And I want that to feel good for you. I want that to feel exciting, like I'm coming home. I want that to feel a place where you feel safe and where you know that there is this loving, vibrational, positive energy in your home. If you get the opposite, and you dread those steps to the door, or putting the key and thinking, what mess is it going to be? Or who am I living with? Anything like that. What happens is that energy then gets taken across the threshold, spread about your whole room, whole house. And it will have an impact on your health, on your wealth, on everything. Naturally, there is absolutely everything that you can do to change that. But the energy starts in the front. Now, if you don't use your front door, I would advise that you start doing that. Even if it is you come in through the side or the back door, dump all your stuff, but you actually then make a conscious effort to go round and open your front door, I would advise that. That will make a difference. Now, your gardens and your front gate all start from that amazing energy that we bring in. And it actually starts with our clothes, our thinking, with our shoes. So even that, we've got to be really mindful about where we dump our clothes, dump our shoes. You would think the last place to do that is the bedroom, but it's the most place that we do that, which is why we don't like shoes on the bedroom floor. Anyhow, we'll get to the bedroom in a few more weeks. I do get distracted, so I will really try to bring myself back to the point. Your front area, when you see that door, what does it feel like? I painted my front door bright yellow a few years ago, and my gate, and I flipping love it. I love my home, and I've loved it even more since doing Feng Shui. And I love the feeling. I love the people I live with now that I left my husband 10 years ago. I love my husband now. It's like Christmas every day coming home to him. I love the feeling of, from a distance, I can see my bright yellow door and it just brings me a smile. When I had my Feng Shui home analysed myself, I found my home was a fire home. So actually a yellow door is perfect for me. That might not be the case for you. However, we would know that in an analysis, which you can book if you want. But if you don't have the right colour front door, it doesn't matter. There are things that we can do. That is the beauty of Feng Shui. There are certain things you just can't change, or perhaps don't want to change, but there are things we can do to support that. So look at your garden, look at your gate, look at your garden, look at how your pathway is. Is there lots of weeds? Is there lots of pebbles that might need a clean up? Is there plants that have died? Is the paintwork coming off the gate, the door? Where are your bins? Are they facing the door? All that smelly rubbish. And that when you open the lid, where's all that energy of that bin rubbish going to go? It's going to go straight into your home. So these are the things that we look at in Feng Shui. We start looking at your front entrance. What we want in the front entrance is harmony and balance. We want living plants. Now, I actually have fake grass. I'm sorry, environment, but I do, in my front garden, which will come under fake plants, which is a big no-no. However, my particular house is, although I'm renting it forever because it's from a family member, it's still a rented property. So there's only so much I could do as far as construction work goes. And my front garden was just concrete, but this was my nan's house, so it's like 100 years old. And it had lots of cracks in it, and the weeds were coming up, and I was getting more stressed with the cracks and the weeds, and that's what I was seeing when I first come home a few years ago now. And I was like, oh God, those weeds again. And I do like to look at weeds as positive bee plant, flower, food, but it still annoyed me. So I put a big chunk of fake grass down. I'm sorry to say, but I did. And you know what? I love it. And what I also did was, in that fake grass, I cut it. When I say I mean my husband. Cut it so we made a wavy pathway, and then we put stones in it. And that pathway of waviness is the best pathway you can have leading up to your home, because the energy can just gently flow rather than shooting or there being no direction. It's like it has an arrow to the universe. Come this way. The same as having a brightly coloured door. Come this way energy. The same as having clean doors, clean plant pots. It's very good weekly. My nan used to do it like a stickler, weekly, to brush, and they did in those days. Brush that porchway, clean it up, polish your threshold, your door stops and handles. But it does work. It invites that good energy. I think back then they did it because the neighbours could see, oh, they look posh. And there was a bit of that going on, I'm sure. But having the front garden set so when you come in, it's all pristine, as pristine as you can, and just clean and tidy, getting rid of the weeds, getting rid of perhaps broken stone, broken pots. Decluttering is such a game changer in Feng Shui. Not just to keep tidy, but to keep that energy flowing. Benches, if you've got benches, make sure that they are not just sort of rotten wood or metal that has rusted. Spruce them up. Give them a bit of love. When you give love and attention to something, pleases your eye. So when you come home, instead of thinking, oh God, I'm never going to sit on that, I could catch something from that, or get a splinter up my bum, you think, oh, I could just sit down and just enjoy the view. It gives you a different vibration, and that's what Feng Shui is about, that vibrational energy that you attract to that mindset. And we know with the law of attraction, we know with manifestation, that what we get out, we put back. So having your front area clear, clean, tidy. a flow of energy, looking at how your gate works. Does the handle work? Because if the handles in Feng Shui literally mean getting a handle on your life. If your door is sticky to get in, the energy is going to find it. If your key doesn't go in, the energy is going to find that hard as well. So get that WD-40 out. Make sure that things just smooth. Check your handles. Give them a bit of a tighten up if you need to get a handle on life. Now, sometimes if you don't get on with your neighbours, or if you've had perhaps a bit of ruck with them. I live next door to my dad, so I'm good. My other neighbours are great, but the ones one step beyond, not so. If I lived in my dad's house, I would definitely do this. I don't need to do it here. You could put a wind chime up. Now, wind chimes are great at deflecting energy, as is mirrors. If you live in flats, perhaps you don't have a front garden there and you don't get on with your neighbour, you could put a mirror on the outside to deflect the energy. Or if you've got somebody living above you that you don't like, you could put the mirror going upwards to send them that energy, or downwards, each whatever way. Mirrors can deflect the energy, as can wind chimes. And they just break up any negative vibes that are going on there. Now, you do have to be slightly careful with wind chimes because their activation, but they are noisy. So sometimes, especially if it's windy at night, that could really get on somebody's goat. So you might have to just perhaps tie up at night there. But wind chimes are great at dispersing any of that energy. Think about the mats that you have in your hallway and your signages. I've got a lot of funny signages, or good signages. Well, they're all positive. But just be mindful, if you have a sign that says grumpy old man lives here, you're going to attract that. If you have perhaps a mat that, just say you've got a mat that has your business name on it, for example, people are walking all over that name, putting their dirty feet all over that. So just be super mindful about what it is that you have around you, because that's what you're going to attract. If you have a sign that says the dog's all right, but the kids might bite, that's going to make the kids but also actually be aggressive, because you're inviting that energy around. So just be really mindful about what signages you've got, what energy you're bringing in there. It's lovely I use it on the first of the month particularly, but you could do it any day to just give your door a cleanse and a wipe over to get it sparkling, and just make sure that the doorbells are opportunities. Ding dong. Avon calling. It's an opportunity. So if our doorbells don't work, how can we have that opportunity? Now, a lot of Feng Shui is common sense. When we think about it, it's common sense. If we have a light out in our hallway, in the porchway, how can the universe see it if there's no light? Or it will mean that we're having to tread a bit carefully in the winter. It will mean that we're having to watch our way a little bit there, that we can't see in the dark, that we might not be able to see all the opportunities are around us. So it's about working with what we've got and making it work in the best way that it can. Now, if there is things, like I said, I've got a rented property, so there's certain things I can't do at the minute. Well, I could if I paid lots and lots of money, but it is down to my landlady. Although I can pretty much do whatever I want. But if you're renting, there are certain things you can do and certain things you can't do. And that's okay. You can only do what you can do. So this is where Feng Shui, particularly modern Feng Shui, comes in, is that we're not telling you you have to do this or you have to do that. We're working with you. Okay, you can't do that, so let's do this instead. You might not be able to have a bright yellow front door if you've got a fire element. But you could put some yellow pots around. Perhaps you've got a water element as your home, but your door is yellow. We'll put some blue pots around. So there's things that we can work around this there. One of the other things that you have to be careful about is your windows. So we want these super clean, because again, they attract the energy that comes in. They're all dirty and we can't see out. That's what we're sending out to the universe. A kind of blurred vision, a blurred message there. But also our bins. Now, the bins quite often go to the side or the front of the house. In our whole street, it's at the front of the house. And my bins are actually facing the southwest area of my home, which is our love and romance area. Not a good place to have rubbish. So what can you do? Well, you can either move the bins somewhere else, but it will end up going, my other option is the south, fame, recognition, or my money area. So I have to pick one of those three. Couldn't go in the south, actually, that's the gate. So it has to be my money or my love. Taurus is going to go for, I actually could go for both really, because it's ruled by Venus. Anyhow, that's another story, but it's in the love area. So what do? I've got some plants that I've put in front, I've built up in front so that it acts as slowing that energy down. What I'm going to do, what you could do, is get a like a bin shed there, and you can get some beautiful bin sheds, and then you can plant things on top so it can be environment friendly as well. So having a bin shed where we've got the doors that close will be perfect if we have to have bins at the front. So just be really careful where you put your bins. Try and push them away from the house. At least 2 meters would be better away from the house. Now, over these next quite a few years, you're going to have to be careful about water in the south. So my house faces south, so if you've got a south facing home, be very mindful about water, because water, we're in a fire energy. We want things fired up, we want opportunity, we want to burn through, we want to be the rising phoenix. But actually water's going to dampen all of that. So if you do have a large water area, or you live right next to a lake or the sea, and we're not too far from a creek, but there's lots of houses in between that which act as protection there, but there could still be they're working on it at the moment, could still be an element of we're fairly close to water. So but again, put in plants or building another house, or putting things around to protect you can really help with that if you do have water. So it's all about working with what you've got and not being freaked out that if you've got this, you have, that you're doomed. It's not about that at all. But the easiest things that you can manage in your front area is the vibration that you bring in through that threshold, how you feel when you start walking up to your home. If you know that there's things that need fixing, get them fixed. This is your sign to just get on with it and get that front fixed, get those weeds up, get it tidied, so that when you come in, you feel like, I love this. Put some fresh flowers down. Make sure you get rid of all the old dead ones. Make it look appealing, make it look like inviting. You want that energy to come in. And the last thing I'm going to say is your numbers. If a number can't be seen from the road, the energy can't see the number. So try and make sure that you have your number for your address fairly clear, that you're sending out a sign to the universe of, I'm here, bring me all those opportunities. Every morning, open your front door and say something that resonates with you, such as, I welcome the energy of the new day, show me opportunities, I welcome abundance, show me how I can be happier, show me how I can reach more people, show me how I can make more money, show me how I can meet the love of my life. Whatever it is, open that front door for a few minutes, and whatever the weather, let that energy come in with that affirmation and positive vibration of show me, because the door is the mouth of chi. It's your entrance to all opportunities. Next week, we will look into the hallway of what that energy is coming in, but just try and have a little bit of a tidy up around the front area, and just notice the difference, definitely. Thank you for watching or listening.